first pick in the podcast draft, I Need a Hobby selects. And welcome to I Need a Hobby, a podcast. I'm this week's host, Andrew. And to my left, he timed his 40-yard dash using Mississippi seconds, Chris.
Hey.
And to my right, before the broad jump, he shouted, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, Alex.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. Doing great. But the listeners at home are not wondering about how I am. They're wondering, what the heck is this podcast about?
What am I listening to?
Truthfully, here's what it is. Me, Chris, and Alex, Andrew, Chris, and Alex, we're three guys. We work very hard during the 9 to 5. Has that been mentioned?
Super hard.
Yeah, very, very hard.
No breaks.
We also, guess what? I know you guys work hard during the 9 to 5 too, but what are you doing during your 5 to 9s? Because you know what we're doing? We're doing challenges, hobbies, and activities every week. And we're bringing them to you. So that's it.
Yeah, great intro.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We work hard, but we work even harder in the 5 to 9.
We do. You guys
I
would
like
be
to
surprised.
consider the 9 to 5 my rest period.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll take
you
naps.
basically you just go to your job and think about hobbies usually.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do during
Exactly.
my 5
That's
to 9?
actually kind of true.
I feel like I get texts from you guys frequently during the 9 to 5, like we should do this episode. We should do this.
Don't tell my boss, but sometimes I'm literally just thinking about Rubik's Cube algorithms in my mind during work.
Yeah. Like during the episode, Chris had to remember say no algorithm talk. But during your work, I mean, can you imagine that? That's crazy.
Yeah,
like Alex, like stop talking Rubik's Cube algorithms with the customers again.
One time in my old
with
job,
your clients.
I got a email from HR and they said, "Hey, we want to meet with you today." I said, "All right, should I bring my Rubik's Cube? Should I bring like my hobby materials?" He said, "No, this is actually very serious." Unrelated, I got fired, but but still, it happens.
You have
Sometimes
more time in the 9 to 5 now
materials.
to focus on your hobbies.
Right. So that's what we're doing the 9 to 5.
Yeah. Should we mention? Hey, we're back on another pod summit.
We're on another pod summit. It was so fun last time. We had to really break the bank and
we're up.
Get another trip out for these guys.
We did some serious hobbying yesterday. We played disc golf.
Yeah, we did play. We went back to disc golf. Chris's infamous 10 out of 10.
My 10 out of 10 hobby and had a great time.
It was pretty fun.
I might go play another 9 on the way home.
Yeah, I had a really good time with that. That was fun at the beginning. We just saw people ahead of us and we're like, oh, we'll let these guys go because they're going to be so much better than us. And they weren't, that felt pretty good.
I feel like disc golf is at a point where like 5 years ago, if you saw someone playing disc golf, you're like, dang, this guy must play all the time because no one plays disc golf. Now it's getting so popular that you're still like, dang, this guy must be good because he's playing disc golf. But like they were like
pretty bad.
You think our podcast had anything to do with bringing it to the real
assume,
world?
yeah.
I think
probably,
so. Yeah.
I remember seeing a big boom in Google searches after our podcast came out.
Yeah.
It's a 10 out of 10, yay. What is this thing?
I mean, you can check the results. What in tarnation? We say it on the podcast. Potentially related. A couple weeks later, Google search spikes.
Yep.
I'm sure the
That's
same
true,
thing happened.
actually.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying.
I would say those three guys. I heard them talking afterwards about starting some mediation.
Yeah,
they were listening to our
the
old
weird
episode.
thing with that what in tarnation thing is like that was a pretty small meme a year and a half ago or whatever.
Yeah, it was
so like
January
people,
2017.
I think we're the only ones who understand that reference. Like
It
no
was
one
funny.
remembers that we said it on our podcast first because it was on one episode.
Yeah.
And no one remembers
It's just
the
a
meme.
big deal every time something on our podcast gets into the mainstream. I feel like this has happened more times than once.
It happens all the time.
This is the only one I can think of right now, but I'm sure you guys can think of some other times if you're a real fan. Anyway, let's get to this hammy talk that we talked about beforehand.
I'm hoping at the
all
beginning.
listeners simultaneously shut the podcast off.
They
At the beginning of the podcast, they're gonna edit in some sort of warning for the listeners. There will be hammy talk.
Yeah, I should. So you guys might see this episode. Oh, NFL Combine, NFL Draft, whatever we're gonna call it. The NFL Draft is in. When this episode comes out, it is tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. So basically, the idea behind this episode, the inspiration, is we wanted to show you guys what an average Joe, how they can handle the drills of the NFL Combine. Right. And the NFL Combine drills are just used to measure agility and athleticism among the prospects. So it's kind of like you have a game tape to see how they play football, but you also want to see, well, what are your measurables? How can you contribute? Oh, this guy's a really good athlete. His numbers are off the charts. And I'm talking about you, Alex,
Thank
after
you.
they hear the results here.
Because I'd say it's tough to
They're
compare.
frantically getting in touch with my agent.
like when you're watching college football is very different than the NFL.
Right.
And also there's like 300 teams, so it's hard to scout everyone. I think it's kind of
that's a good point.
I'd say it's comparable to the SAT in high school.
Whoa.
Like it's very like put everyone on the same playing field.
Right.
This is what we're comparing.
Right. That's a great point because like your high school GPA is like your game performance. Yeah. But the SAT is like the classic, like, all right, well, we can measure.
What are your measurables?
But at the same time, like, in
nerdiest football talk of all time.
In my opinion, like, I don't want to get too much into football talk, but in my opinion, I think the NFL Combine is kind of a sham because I think that, I just think that, like, it's a very, like, huge thing. Like your performance on the field matters so much more, yet people love to rant about, this guy's so fast.
I think with football specifically, like, it's almost like a lot of the strategy taking place is in, like, the coach and the quarterback, whereas the players are like think of a lineman. They're like all he has to do is like be insanely strong or insanely fast.
You can train in the
so like I think the combine matters more in the NFL than like
that's a good
I don't
point.
know if they do in the MLB, but the NBA like probably barely even matters.
Yeah,
you're right.
It's
like
so much of the strategy is
within
the players. So like the actual strength and like the measurables don't factor in as much.
Yeah. So basically, as an aside, we have previously tried to record this episode.
Everyone's probably like, did they edit out the hammy talk?
I'm getting. It is building to the hammy talk. We got to start.
We did cut out probably 20-30 minutes just now of hammy talk.
Basically, we did try to do this episode. I feel like it has been referenced. It is the very infamous Chris brought pots and pans to the studio and started banging them.
Yeah,
it was referenced on like
I forget when we referenced it.
It was referenced like very briefly on one episode.
Yeah,
I feel like it comes up whenever you want to bring me down.
The hobby episode, or the hobby bracket.
I feel like it was after that, but whatever.
Regardless,
we reference it off pod almost every day.
Yeah, we recorded an episode.
I would say this was suggested by friend of the show CJ,
like probably 2 years ago.
2 years ago, he said like you guys should do like NFL Combine stuff because it is cool, like to be like how does the average person compare? And this was before the NFL draft in 2017, and we did record a full episode. And Chris, you want to defend yourself
here?
Sure.
Out of the 90-something episodes, we've put all of them up, I'd say, for the most part.
Yeah.
Except for this one because...
actually, this is the only one.
I had some sort of...
We were doing remote recording.
Recording.
A few podcasts we've recorded where we're not together.
It's not fun. It's you don't get the same kind of vibe.
Significantly worse, as you guys can tell.
I recorded
I don't think that's true, but...
I don't know what I did wrong, but somehow I think I didn't have the microphone picking up the audio.
What you did was, I think you had your mic plugged in, but you had the audio source as your computer speaker mic.
So I was doing it in my apartment.
It doesn't explain the pots and pans in the background.
I really want to microphone would have taken. Can we splice in
if you can dig it up.
I bet it's on the drive.
There were points where we heard clearly, unless he had a microphone, your roommate coming in and saying, "Hey, are you doing podcasts in here?" And you were like, "No, I'm good. Keep the clanging going." Mid pod.
Not one of my finer moments, but
so anyway, we had to
glad
scrap
we could do it again.
That was actually what spurred on the season break.
It's true.
They said I can't even look at you right now.
So we're very grateful to be back strong. A year later with an actual Combine episode. Hopefully
I'm thinking the other day. All right, we performed well, and we had a lot of preparation going in for the Combine last time. So I'm like, dang, we're doing this Combine in one day. I got to text my co-hosts, hey, you guys all set for the Combine?
Yeah, can I read the text I wanted to
I want to
six back from
So I have it up.
That made my jaw drop.
So we plan to do this episode. First off, I got a text from Andrew, 3:25. Also, if anyone has a cowboy hat, bring it.
No.
I don't want that to be explained. I'm just going to say it. Then Alex said, we all good for the Combine. Andrew said, yeah. At 4:13, Andrew said, yep. Then at 4:28, Andrew said, I deadass just think I pulled my hamstring. LOL, I'm officially listed as questionable. Then he said, JK, I'll play. Then... maybe an hour later, he said, dang, I'm not going to lie. This is worse than I thought.
Yeah, it was bad. I can't explain it. And it's funny because I had a previous What's on Your Mind basically making fun of athletes who pull their hamstrings. So it's definitely like a
I feel like pulling your hamstring is like it's such a dad thing. Like my dad will always say like, you gotta stretch. You don't want to pull a hammy. Like that's such a like doing chores or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was I played in a frisbee tournament.
This is a great story.
Yeah. Well, it's not that good. I played in a frisbee tournament the weekend before, and I hadn't been doing much physical activity. and my hammies were
too busy podcasting.
Yeah, 5 to 9.
You never leave the chair.
My hammies were absolutely killing me after this tournament, and I'm not even kidding. This was a full week after, so they were fine. Like the first couple days, they were really bad, and I was very cautious. And this time, I was, they were sore, but they were fine. So it's finally one of our nicer days here. I asked my roommates, "Hey, anyone want to play catch?" Episode 51, I think. It's a great hobby.
10 out of 10, you gave it.
And they said, "No, sorry, we're doing homework." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll shrug this one off." I go outside, start playing catch with myself. Actually,
what? I mean, that first of all,
I've done this many times.
If someone texted me saying, "Hey, I'm playing catch with myself right now," I would think it was some disgusting act to themselves that shouldn't be said.
But it's basically I just took a football, and throw it a little out of my reach.
Oh, wait, a football?
Yeah.
What, dude? What?
Yeah, it
catch with the football.
It definitely looks very weird.
This is a frisbee.
No, that's weirder. I was thinking like I could play
everything's weird.
With like a baseball, you can toss it up or something.
I was picturing maybe like a ball off the wall situation.
Ball off the wall.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
But no, this was more of like if you would see it from a third person perspective, it probably looks very strange. But I just take the football in my one hand, like
I throw it right into my hamstring as hard as possible.
You wanted it like a hook shot.
You were hoping we could do the catch sequel. Catch by yourself.
And basically, I pulled my hamstring. Like I threw it a little too far, and my hamstrings were still sore, and I extended fully, and then immediately like went down hard. It was like if anyone's a Red Sox fan.
Imagine driving by this.
If anyone's a Red Sox fan, imagine like every time Hanley Ramirez tries to beat out a throw to first. That's what it was. Like just instantly like, oh my gosh.
Except
like,
he was essentially just juggling a football.
Basically, contact juggling. And I hurt my hamstring, but I was like joking at first, and then I realized like this is actually kind of a big deal. And I guess we probably won't post a picture of it.
Right now you have a
I'd say
softball-sized black and blue.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad. I'd say
it's huge,
slide into the DMs if you want a picture, right, Andrew?
Yeah, I guess so. If you want to, like, we don't want to post it because it's like kind of gruesome, but it is bad.
I'll say Andrew took a picture. He's not wearing any pants or underwear in the picture. It's a shot clearly of his butt, and you can see a slight softball-sized bruise in the bottom.
Not true at all.
And he's we went out to a bar last night, and he insisted on showing everyone, "Hey, I pulled my hammy the other day."
Yeah.
You don't believe me? Check it out.
Anyway, so finally to wrap this all up, I'll wrap up this hammy talk. At the time of this combine, I realized that I wasn't going to be able to participate at my fullest, and the bruise was very minor. I didn't even notice it until later. So this was like not even 24 hours from recording, and the bruise just got absolutely huge.
I think you doing the combine stuff re-injured your injury.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
So which was stupid, but I don't know. It's more so that I didn't like. Like you guys just heard what exactly happened. Alex said, "Are you guys good to go?" We said we're good. Literally 15 minutes later, I said I pulled my hamstring. I was embarrassed. I didn't want to be like,
so quick.
"Oh, I can't compete now." But thankfully, I mean, we've got my man Chris to my left here, who was banging pots and pans last year. So I was able to. I was able to dig out my stuff from last year, which is, these guys are
a bit of an
skeptical
on these,
of it.
We were not there for these.
True. This time we all went together. I also have my times from this year, but they're just really bad. If you saw the Instagram story, the 40-yard dash was especially funny because it was bad. Like
you were limping. You were hopping on one leg.
It's like a huge limp. Yeah. So hopefully my hamstring recovers and I can get back to running soon. But beyond that, are we ready to get into the official NFL Combine
results?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically there are 6 things that they do at the NFL Combine. I guess they might also do the 60-yard shuttle, but we did not bother doing that. We just did the 20-yard shuttle. But I'll get into that in a bit. But what they are is the broad jump, the vertical jump, the 40-yard dash, the 3-cone drill, which is kind of like a unique agility drill that we'll explain when we get to it, the shuttle, which is similar, and we'll explain that too, and then the bench press, which we decided not to do because
mostly because of my
I won't assume, Chris, but I'm guessing that you cannot bench 225.
No, I would be a 0 rep.
Yeah, so I'm a 0 rep for sure. Alex, I bet you could do.
I think 50, 45 at least reps. No, just kidding.
But actually, maybe one.
I could do. Yeah, I think I could do a few. But
all right.
I don't want to get into that.
We didn't get into it because Alex would have crushed us. So anyway, so we got our stats, and we're going to compare them to the current NFL prospects, which is very exciting. So we can really see just how unathletic the average person is. And not gonna lie, like we aren't some chumps. We are pretty athletic. We're some good runners. We're not like
we're not in the NFL.
But like I think we're more athletic than the average
podcast
20-something-year-old. Oh, definitely the average podcast.
I'd say like I think my favorite joke that I hear a lot of times is like people say it'd be cool in the Olympics if they had like the most average person doing it alongside them.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool for I guess that's kind of why we're doing this.
Yes.
Just to really show how amazing the stuff they do.
But football is a completely different sport than like cross country, which we all did.
That's true.
Like cross country is the exact
running like
you don't
a
need
marathon
any agility,
is very different
you don't
than
need any power.
a cone drill.
Right, but like I still think that we're generally athletic
you're
is
right.
what I would say. Either way, it's
I want to say
average.
we're quite couch potatoes.
Right. Anyway, so let's just get right to our results. What do we want to start with? What we did first, or maybe the method? So basically, we go to this turf field.
The method, sure.
Near where I'm living here, and all three of us are going. I had a pretty cool time just chilling.
Beautiful
would say.
day.
Yeah.
One of
Real-
the nicest
real
days
nice
of
The
the
day.
year.
first like short sleeve day of the year, in my opinion, like for a while. At least.
Yeah, set up some. We actually use our disc golf discs that we alluded to earlier as our cones, and we started doing the drills. So I have my numbers from last year, also have my numbers from this year, so we can go over them all.
We'll put an asterisk on both, honestly.
Yeah, probably. The first one we started with was the 3-cone drill. So
Explain to the folks at home what the three
cone drill is basically there's 3 cones. They're in like a.
This is gonna be impossible.
Yeah,
to
it-
explain.
Your best bet is
hard to
probably just to
explain.
look it up, but it's more or less
No,
you.
I can explain it.
It'll take 2 minutes and it'll get boring, but I'll do it
It's
anyway.
It's like a picture like the
It's a
letter-
right angle.
a
Of
right
cones.
angle of like half a square, maybe. Think of that.
This is algorithm talk
with-
territory.
With 3 cones, each on a corner, and you run like kind of a little circuit in it. Is what I would say. I won't describe the entire circuit, but let's get right to the
Right to the pro.
prospects
Yeah, right. Get to the
results.
pros times.
So the worst time, Toby Weathersby, hopefully he gets drafted, out of LSU, O-lineman, ran an 8.55, okay? We have the times for... Wait, is that
pretty
bad?
slow.
Oh, no, that's not not terrible.
That's better than us, isn't it?
Better than you two.
All right. You know what? No. I'm already getting mad.
The times for us is Andrew, April 2017, no injury, 7.57. Second best, Alex, 2018, 8.5. Or no, sorry, second best, Toby Weathersby, 8.55. Then Alex with a. Oh no! Oh, sorry. No, you. Sorry, I'm looking at the previous times. You guys actually did beat this. Alex, you ended up with an 8.19
This year?
Yep, puts you in third to last place here. You also beat out Jamarco Jones. Congrats, another
Nice.
O lineman.
Sucker.
And Chris, you had an 8.46, which just puts you ahead of Toby.
Phew.
I ran a 10.25 this year,
On one leg.
hobbled, but 7.57
Do you have the best
at
time
my
up?
best, which is actually pretty decent according to this. Sorry, but it's
See, this is what I mean. No way you have any decent scores. None of us have any decent scores in the NFL Combine.
well, I think this is surprising, but this edge rusher ran a 7.52.
No, what I'm saying is your times are fake.
No, my times are not fake.
Wait, what was the fastest time of the year? Do you have that?
Yeah, let's check out the fastest one. Sorry, it is. Oh, is this really the fastest?
It says
me.
Andrew.
Oh, so no, I am on page 2. The fastest time is a 6.28, which is
Wow.
significantly faster than the next guy. These are defensive backs, so they really have to be agile, quick on their feet.
It's crazy because
Makes
the
sense.
thing with this drill is like when you think of speed, you want to be like going as fast as possible, but you can't go fast because once you get up to speed, you're turning around. And
Yeah,
going
so
the
that's
next
like the point
direction.
of this drill. The cones are 5 yards apart, so it's you need to like touch the ground a bunch, and you need to.
Right.
And it's so tricky to
Be
like
moving.
stop. Like I found myself I don't know. It just takes so long to turn
Yeah,
around.
if you're like,
I'm not quite that.
You need
kind
to
of
stop.
stuff.
You need to stop on a dime for
Yeah.
sure.
like me, Andrew, the most agile.
Well, I mean, no, numbers never lie. Right, that's
Unless
right.
you lie about the
10
numbers.
10.25, best time ever.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I really shouldn't have done this hobbled, but it was still fun. Anyway, so that's
I feel
our-
like after each drill we had to have a little like Andrew.
yeah, like what are you doing?
You could stop.
I
man.
I did really hurt. Like this was the worst one for sure. Like I assumed I'd be fine. I guess like I assumed I'd be hobbled but fine, and I like tried to explode off my strained hamstring, and it was very bad. Very stupid. Anyway, moving on. We're going to the next one.
Hey, I'll use my last year's time. It was iconic.
The next one we set up was the shuttle, which is a little simpler than the 3-cone drill. It's basically you start in like a 3-point stance, which is like imagine you're about to like hike a football. That's kind of like what you look like. And then you like you're about to hike a football, but you're looking up. You're not looking at the ground. Whatever. Anyway,
You
then
don't have a football to hike.
you explode off your strong leg. You go 5 yards one way, 10 yards across where you started, and then 5 yards back to where you started. So it's a 20-yard drill in total. And it once again is measuring your agility because you need to touch the ground on either side.
Because running 5 yards takes like a second.
Yeah,
but it's like
but you gotta
by
be
the time
quick to touch
you
the
get
ground.
there, by the time you get to your top speed, you're already slowing down. It's
Yeah, and you don't realize
Ugh.
how long it takes to turn around. It took
Yeah.
me like 8 seconds to turn around. At one
Yeah.
point.
Like you
That's how
guys
quick you
were
really
good
are.
at the initial one, but the second one, you guys are like slowing down very, very
Yeah, it's
slow.
tough.
The initial cone, you mean? First cone?
Or not. Well, it's not a cone in this, or maybe it is, but yeah, the first cone. Sure, the first cone. So let's take a look at the times for the 20-yard shuttle. Coming in. Wait, let me see. Okay,
Who's
coming
the worst?
in first place.
Who's the worst in the
Oh, in the NFL Combine. Okay, sorry. The worst is a 5.38. Orlando Brown, our bud Toby Weathersby, also has a 5.38, but
Wow,
is
sucker.
luckily clocked not in dead last. So he kind of lucked out there.
do you have to get accepted into the NFL Combine?
You have to get invited. Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
So
So there's definitely no chance that we're ever going.
I don't know. Maybe we could get some sort of like press invite,
yeah, like
and
a
then sneak our way
podcasters event.
into the.
So these times today were the best time for us was Andrew 2017 with a 4.77. Alex with a 4.89. Chris with a 5.11.
Dang, so we all crushed the suckers end last.
And then me hobbled with a 5.30. Somehow was able to beat these linemen. That's pretty bad. But the
we
fact
must have been doing this wrong.
No, I don't think so. The fact remains is that like even our best times that we are doing like not bad at beating like a significant amount of like NFL prospects, they're all huge linemen.
Yeah.
Offensive or defensive.
They all had-
They
like-
still need agility though.
Correct, but what I'm saying is that we're not even close to a
Oh, yeah.
single skill position
Yeah,
player.
I'd say
Oh, yeah.
when we say we're beating NFL players, we don't think that we should be in the NFL.
Yeah,
Because these
we're
guys
not, like
are literally double our size.
But I
Right, we're
do
not,
think
like,
that
trying to.
I do
make
think
a
that
point.
I should be in the
like
NFL.
will that guy make it to the NFL, you think?
Probably yeah, but
Dang.
like he's probably not. I mean,
Because I feel like agility
if
is
your
pretty
combine
important
stuff is bad, then that's not good.
It hurts
for
your
sure.
chances.
Like,
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
feel like
sometimes you'll
agility is
see-
important for unless you're a kicker.
Yeah.
Every position in a
Mhm.
football field.
One thing you'll see sometimes
I heard
is
Belichick has a 4.8.
top players will sometimes not do certain events in the combine because they think it'll just like
Or make
like
him look
like
bad.
they're already
Yeah.
seen as so fast. Like what's a 40 gonna show unless he
Sure.
like
That's true.
breaks the world record.
So let's
Um,
check out the best times here. It is a 3.94,
That's
which is
insane.
very, very good. That's crazy. Wow.
For such a short drill, when you think
Yeah.
about 1 second,
Like because this is like
yeah.
like
it literally
a
took me
whole
three
second faster
three
than
seconds
some
to
of
get
us.
to the second cone, pretty much.
probably
yeah. So
Crazy.
very
He's
good
done.
times. Once again, we are getting absolutely destroyed by any person in the NFL Combine who is not a lineman. All right, moving on. Let's go to now these ones are like the more relatable ones, I guess, stuff that
Things
you
that
can
we don't need to
try out at
explain.
home that you don't need to explain.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we did the broad jump, I believe.
Yeah, broad
Yep,
jump.
broad
I
jump.
believe.
So broad jump is just a standing leap, no run up.
Broad jump is harder. It's like
It's such an
it's
awkward
weirdly
movement.
intimidating. I think.
Yeah, it is.
I want to. I kind of want to practice it. Like
Yeah.
it's something like you really gotta get the momentum right. Like
Yeah.
but I don't know what the
a
right
lot
way
of
to
like
do
arm
it is.
sway.
Yeah.
I almost wish we were jumping from because you jump from fat feet in my case. You jump from flat feet. You
fully
can't,
stationary.
You can't do like a running jump, and you jump forward. So it's almost
Yeah.
like you want like a little slanted board to jump off of because that jump
Yeah.
forward is super weird. From
Yeah,
two
if
feet.
you're
very
right. It
awkward.
is weird because you're not like the vertical jump, which we'll talk about later.
Is like more
kind of
natural.
natural.
That's more
You're just
natural,
like
yeah.
jumping up, but this one you're right. You're trying to like propel yourself forward with no momentum at all.
Imagine if that was like a central move for a football player, a broad jump.
broad jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's just supposed to measure. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
like
just
an
like
athletic
power.
thing. Yeah,
because imagine
power.
like being in like a stance or whatever you call that 3-point stance,
Mhm.
and like jumping to block someone. That's pretty
Yeah.
much a broad jump. You know?
Yeah,
You're like
true.
exploding out.
Especially
Yeah.
if you're doing your
Except you're just jumping
crazy
into
broad
a
jump.
300-pound man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. If you're doing it right into a 300-pound man, maybe I'll move him a little. You know?
Yeah.
That's true.
That's crazy.
All right, so let's take a look at the broad jumps. So for us, I guess they have this all in inches, so I'll have to convert ours to inches because I did feet and inches. So coming in first place, true first is Alex with an 8 feet 4 inches. So that's
100 inches. 100
Nice.
inches on the
Hey,
dot.
all right.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, good. I was checking out the worst times. I was like, wait a minute, the best person got 82 inches. Anyway,
Alex, you got to get Belichick on the horn.
And then me last year with an 8'2", so 98 inches. Me this year with a 7'6", so 90 inches. Is that right? And then Chris this year with a 7'4", 88 inches. So a full foot less than Alex's broad jump.
Wow.
So Chris, you have the lowest of us, and you had a 88 inches, which puts you, I think we talked about this guy before, ahead of Orlando Brown.
All right.
He only got 82 inches. That's not that good.
Wow.
He must be a big boy.
He must be a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Alex,
he must have a podcast.
Your 100-inch jump puts you ahead of some linemen, many linemen, and one quarterback.
Hey,
not bad. If
There
you got
we
the
go.
arm strength.
Let's see your arm.
Mike White loses to Alex in the broad jump. So
Uh-oh.
pretty cool. You could probably have a
I would be
podcast.
so bad.
Do they have-
I would be so bad at quarterback.
Do you know just pretty much every position?
It is insanely hard.
Like, does every position do all of these things for the most part?
Except for, like Alex was mentioning,
kickers and
kickers
stuff.
don't. Kickers is like a pure. It's literally just like you
Yeah.
do one thing and do it well. You don't have to have
yeah.
any athleticism.
I feel like
to be
if I was a kicker and I was at the combine, though, I'd still just run a 40 for fun, like just to get some more press time. you know?
Actually, if you want to know how we would do against like average, or how like an average Joe would do against NFL players, look up like an NFL player in the open field on a kick return against a kicker. Like that is how
Yeah.
you would act. Like actually, kickers, they all look so bad, but like
They're still
imagine like
very
someone
athletic.
who can run like twice your speed, running at you full speed, and can cut like on a
Yeah,
dime. This guy
that's
runs
crazy.
a 3.943 cone drill. Okay, this kicker, he's worse than us. He runs like a. Oh wait, no, sorry, not 3.943 cone drill. Jesus, the 3.94 shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that's why like kickers, they don't need to be good. They just have the natural skill
need the foot.
to have accuracy to kick a field goal. So let's see, the best broad jump this year, Denzel Ward. I actually recognize that name, so I think he's a top prospect here. But he got 136 inches,
Dang.
which
I will-
is what is
It's
that in
11 feet.
11 feet.
11
That's
feet,
crazy.
2 inches.
Yeah,
I'll give a shout out. An alum of my school.
11 feet. 4 inches.
I might have brought this up on the podcast, maybe just
Yeah,
in the
I think-
episode
I
last
think
year.
your
You better
I
have
remember
last
that.
one.
But he was like a pretty good recruit. Like people thought he was probably going to go to the NFL, and then he shows up to the combine and breaks the broad jump world record.
No, he didn't. Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking. Wait, who are you talking about? Byron Jones?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to talk about Obi. We should talk
Oh yeah,
about
Obi also this kid who we went to. He grew up in our town.
Yeah, so
Also
we
went
did
to
talk
my
about this
college.
last year, but there was a prospect, Obi, whose broad jump holds up. He's the best in 2 years. He had a 141-inch broad jump.
Dang.
But he went to elementary school with me, played football with him on the
No
streets
way.
of recess for sure. Yeah,
Was
remember
he just like leaping over everyone?
yeah, he was really good. I remember he did not like being called Obi-Wan, which is pretty funny because his
Oh,
name's Obi.
He didn't like being bullied. You mean? He had nothing like that.
But these guys had.
And then afterwards, he went to your school.
he went to
right, Chris?
he went to UConn, which is where I went, and
Yeah.
we didn't have like a great football team, so they didn't get a ton of like airtime. Like I don't think people knew, but then they showed up the combine and had like unreal numbers and
So is
he
got
playing in the NFL?
yeah, they
So
both got
Obi,
drafted.
he-
Byron went first round.
right.
I don't know. If,
Obi's cooler because he's from our town, but he basically was like no. But the other thing with Byron Jones was like he was actually like pretty touted as a
Yeah.
prospect, and he had good numbers.
Yeah.
Obi was like 'cause
Out of nowhere,
No
more or
offense to
less.
UConn, but your football program was really bad.
tough
So
few
he
years.
was more of just like a athletic freak that no one even like knew because
Yeah.
they didn't.
They weren't on,
no
like,
one was scouting
the
UConn
major
football
TV.
really.
Yeah.
So he really put himself on the map with the with
Yeah,
those
it's awesome.
numbers. I don't think he had like a huge year last year. Honestly, he's on the Raiders, but I mean he got drafted in the second round. Hopefully he can really turn it around this year. Because
Obi, if you're listening,
I mean it is pretty
Maybe
cool to
come
be
on for an
like
episode.
That's crazy.
yo, like this guy like is from our town, literally.
See, and
It'll say if you look it up, if you're like, oh, let's fact check this, it'll say he's from a different town. It'll say he's from Grafton because that's where he went to high school, but he grew up in
Yeah.
the town. that
See,
we're
that's
from.
crazy because like you would think if you're going to be a professional athlete,
Mhm.
like where you play football or where you play the sport in high school, where you play the sport in college are all essential like stepping stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he's like, oh, I'm just gonna play, I'm just super athletic, I'll play wherever,
Which is crazy.
and
Yeah.
then I'll just go to the like that's.
I mean,
feels
that's
like
like-
But I
the
mean, that-
NFL, like you could have some
That's
not
just
average
wild
show,
for me
but
to
like
think
some
about,
dude that
like-
doesn't play
'Cause I
high
think
level
it-
college football
Right.
still make it to the NFL.
it comes
Exactly,
down
yeah.
to the recruiting in college. Like, I guess UConn saw something in him that
Yeah.
other schools didn't. Like when
Right.
you hear about like Steph Curry, like only got one offer for like a scholarship.
Yeah, Steph
from
Curry's
a
like
small
a
school.
classic example of that.
And now he's one of the best NBA players.
Isn't, like-
That's crazy.
I don't know. I feel like baseball. It's like if you weren't on a team that made it to the Little League World Series, like, all right, you're already not ever going to be in the MLB. You know, but
Why?
I don't know. I feel like it's so like, all right, you have to be a good high school football or baseball, or football even, high school baseball player. Then you have to get accepted to a good college. So
I think
they
the
see you for
MLB is
the
a bad
MLB
example
draft.
because there's like in so many rounds of the MLB draft, like so many people.
Well, what I'm saying is,
get
it
drafted
doesn't
like out of high school.
It
but
doesn't
aren't
feel
planning on
achievable,
playing.
right? That's what I mean. So it doesn't feel achievable for the MLB, but
'Cause
it's
to get-
achievable
yeah.
for the NFL to like. If you're just an athletic
Oh, I
freak,
see.
you
what
could,
mean, to
you could
get
eventually make
noticed,
it.
right? Because
Yeah.
there's right
Yeah.
because in the MLB, like, oh, he's a pitcher. Like, guess
Like, if
what?
you
There's
weren't
He
no-
throws
playing-
90, so does everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Unless you throw like 100, I guess. But
That's true.
anyway, so
Which I can.
congrats to Obi, 2 years running the best broad jump. But I do think that guy Byron we mentioned had like actually set the world record
Yeah.
at the NFL Combine. So I think he's a
Same.
little bit better. All right, so I think we're good with this, right? Alex, your broad jump is pretty good, honestly. This is one where we are not. I mean, maybe because it's just hard for offensive linemen, like
Yeah.
factually to just jump like strong. So we're not like that bad. Like with the other ones, we were like the bottom 3.
It's almost
but-
like to be a good defensive lineman, you have to have a really bad broad jump
Yeah.
kind of
because
yeah.
you know they're just going to be really big and
yeah, Vince Wilfork style.
immovable.
All right, moving on. We did the 40-yard dash, which is very classic.
That's a classic NFL Combine.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to save it because we thought it would take a lot of energy out.
Which it did.
But our vertical jump area was a little further away, so we just decided to. Anyway, I don't need to get into logistics, but that's why we did the 40-yard dash next. And let's take a look at the
So it's
prospects
just
times
running
here.
40 yards straight up.
This
Pure like just it's all about the start because we talked about this where it's
Yeah.
like in 40 yards you don't get tired. You know.
Yeah, it's just like
It's not like you're
as
bre-
explosive as possible
Yeah.
for a few seconds.
Yeah. So this guy, Orlando Brown, mentioned him before. Not great. He ran a 5.85, the worst by a lot. Poor
Did
guy.
he trip on the way?
Loser.
Actually, that's wicked funny. None of the guys, or not none, but I'd say like maybe about 5% on this page have a little like thumbnail. It says video, and he does have that. So
Oh,
we
nice.
could watch the video. It
Yeah.
will not be exciting.
Save
Be
for
very,
after.
very equivalent of us
Might be
just
sad.
running it.
I want to hear
Um,
the announcer during like he's going for the worst.
So,
time of the year. Let's see if
let's
he
see.
can do it.
Last year, I actually do have the worst in this one, even last year. So this year I ran a 7.82. It was on the Instagram story. Very poor form. Should not have been running it. Last year I ran a 5.65. And then this year, Chris ran a 5.48, and Alex ran a 5.3.
Dang, that dude. What's his name? Orlando Bloom.
Brown. Orlando Bloom, yeah. Orlando
He
Brown.
must be so bad at,
Basically.
at everything. How is he? Well, I guess maybe he's
Once
not in the
again,
NFL.
Alex, you're not looking terrible here. You've beat about
I mean, this one's pretty bad.
You beat about 20 to 25 linemen.
Wow.
Chris, you've beat about there is like a big drop actually. So that range in between 5.48 and 5.30, there's actually a lot of linemen's times here. Chris, you'd actually be 4th to last, but Alex would be like 30th to
Wow.
last, and there's
And there's a
only
tenth of a second?
yeah,
that's crazy.
0.18 second difference.
Wow.
So a lot of people fall in that range. I guess a lot of linemen.
I'd say the 40 was fun. We all ran track in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about this yesterday. Like we all ran like the longer distance races,
Yeah.
but every now and then I try to get into
Yeah,
like a
you
100-yard
try to do
dash.
like the short ones.
and it was
for
fun. Like
it's
it's
just so different.
it's
Like,
different.
It's a completely different sport.
Yeah, and it's so impressive when you see like
Yeah.
people who are just that fast.
Right.
I used to
Yeah,
love watching
yeah.
the 100 at track meets because it was just like
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's funny because like I guess we were never like world class or whatever, but
No.
even if you're like a good high school sprinter who isn't like an all-state performer, kind
Yeah.
of like we were for the distance races,
Yeah.
you look like still really fast. Where like you're watching like I would watch like videos of like me or Chris running, and I'm like, dang, like am I really like running right now? This looks bad, you know?
Because I
Whatever.
remember it was kind of my dream was to get into like the slow heats of certain fast races,
Like
so I could
100.
feel like I was some sort
Yeah.
of speed demon.
Yeah,
I remember
like-
one time I was in this
I remember
like
that as well.
200-yard race. There was like 30 people in it. They used to sometimes at the end of meets just like have these races.
Yeah.
And I looked around and was like, I think I could win this thing. Like it's me and a bunch of freshmen. And
you win?
I think I came like first or second.
I remember
it was a lot
like
of fun.
I remember like hearing your name called at the meets, and it would be like they'd be like calling like usually there was like a fast heat and a slow heat.
Yeah.
And like
You
for,
just, like,
for a
had your
certain
fingers
period of time,
crossed.
it was like sophomore and junior year for some of it for me. Like I got like the number 1 seed in the slow heat like so many times. I was like very grateful, and I would always lose too, which was a bummer.
Oh, I was gonna say I feel like
it was a lot of pressure.
That's like when you're in little league, but you're slightly older than everyone, so you feel like a really good baseball player, and then you move up to the next league, and it's like, oh dang, I suck.
Yeah.
It's like being good in the slow heat.
So you go from being a starting
so much
pitcher
confidence.
to
I remember
right
like
field.
I think 3 separate times I got the number 1 seed in the slow heat, and like every time there would be someone like a little underseeded, you know, and I would get like second or third, and I'm like, oh, come on, Andrew, like you're supposed to be the best, but you know,
damn glory days.
I don't know. What would you guys rather do? Would you guys rather be the number 1 in a slow heat or the last one in a fast heat? Because realistically, you should say last one in the fast heat because that would push you to run a better time. You know what I mean?
But
I
guess
guess
at the same time, the thrill of potentially winning.
But confidence goes a long way. Like you get a lot of confidence. Maybe
You show up to your next race. Oh, I won this last night.
What would you guys say? I guess I would say slowest in the fast heat is what I'd rather be.
I guess that's like being like the best basketball player in your school, even though your team sucks. Like, you still have that like bravado.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like-
this
I feel
guy's
like
the
I'd
captain,
probably
even though
rather
the team's
win.
awful.
Yeah. What did you say,
Yeah, I'd
Chris?
probably rather win the slow heat. It would just be
Rather win the
more
slow
fun.
heat?
It would be crushing to lose every single race. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Because I think back
but it'd be
to
awesome to win every single race. I'll be the only one. I'll still get confidence for winning.
when we did our running episode, I ran a local mile race, and it was me and a bunch of like younger people for the most part, and I
Yeah.
won. And it felt good, even though I knew
That one, I feel like
was-
that.
yeah.
I don't know if I would feel good about. Didn't you say it was a bunch of like first and second graders?
Nah, they're a little older.
No, but actually,
were third or
actually,
fourth
like
grade.
a little older, like 10 years older.
Yeah, like high school, middle school.
I don't know.
Anyway.
You know what? I don't know. I just because then if you win that, people are going to be like, "Whoa, great job! That's so awesome! You won." And it's like, I was the fastest in the slow heat. Like,
That's
don't say
true.
congratulations. Don't say it wasn't a
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah, as long as
I'm only doing this for my bravado.
back
Alex
then I
is
did like
notorious
it,
for not
but-
liking being congratulated.
Yeah,
That is
only
true.
only when I deserve it.
Yeah.
Like, tell me congratulations to my 100-inch long or broad jump. You know. I don't know. Like, all right. Like, what if I did a road race?
Well, you
right?
freaked out about getting congratulated for running a marathon, which is
I didn't
the
freak
only
out.
time-
I didn't freak out.
You
but
did freak out. You did freak out.
I feel like it's
You threw a tantrum.
it's. I don't want to get into it
All right,
now.
whatever.
But what I'm saying is, say you're running a road race, right? And you get first in your age group.
Yeah.
So but you're the only one in your age group.
That's true.
And someone's like, "Oh no way! Congrats! That's awesome." Don't say congratulations to me. It means
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you understand?
nothing.
I'm in the 85 plus age group.
It means
You know I
literally
used my
nothing
fake
that I got
ID.
first place. I also got last place. Are you gonna say boo hoo? You
Yeah.
know,
I don't think the person knows that for sure.
they should look at the results.
I'd say stuff like that depends on like the relativity. Because like
Whatever.
the
I've said-
marathon thing. I'm not blaming someone for saying congratulations.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a nice thing to say. I'm just saying it makes me slightly uncomfortable because
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you feel like you don't deserve it, it's like I still have to say thank you and like pretend I'm happy about it.
yeah.
All right.
Whereas my 100-inch
let's,
broad jump, if you're not saying 1 ounce of congratulatory things to me, I'm gonna be upset for the rest of the
You
day.
do have that. You're wearing the
Yeah.
shirt you just got made that says triple digit club.
Yeah, I saw you go up to Orlando Brown the other day. It was
Yeah.
like, you want this? You want this? Yeah. Anyway, let's reel it back in here. The best 40-yard dash time was a 4.32, which isn't that good
Yeah, I was gonna
for
say,
the
I was
NFL
expecting-
this year.
Isn't
Usually
that good for
it's
like
very
a?
good.
For, it's very good, but not for
For
a
the
top.
first.
I think a couple years
like
ago,
not for the
someone-
number one. Yeah,
The best ever was
last
like a
year there was a
4.2.
4.22, which is the best time ever.
Yeah.
And previously, like you'd get like a 4.3 flat or like a high 4.2 would be like
Yeah.
the best time.
Anything. Yeah.
I mean, it's still very, very good. And this one, in fact, for me was like the one that most stood out. Like I personally thought when I ran this, when I ran my 5.65 in 2017, I personally thought that I would be getting like 5.1 or like close to 5.
I personally thought that I would be getting like at least emails from some college coaches.
And like I was not even close. And like granted, I'm not like the fastest sprinter, but I just figured like, oh, okay, I'm like
And
a
you-
runner. Like I can run a good
You're
time.
running
No.
as fast as possible for 40 yards.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
And we
you
took it
think-
with the wind too. The wind was like going
Was
one
helping.
way pretty
Yeah.
strongly, and I was like, let's just reverse it. You know?
So you think like, oh, that must be a decent time because you're going at your full capacity.
Yeah, you feel like you're moving, but,
But then you realize you're awful at sprinting.
yeah.
All right, real quick, I'm just gonna get to the bench press. The worst person got 4 reps. Alex, could you take that or no?
I don't know if I could do 4.
Yeah.
So, people do like 50 or stuff, don't
I was
they?
thinking.
No, let's see the best.
I was thinking we should have
42,
done.
That is pretty crazy.
We should have done like half the weight or something to see.
Yeah, I mean, I still
The-
wouldn't.
I
the
still
N-
wouldn't have been.
The
I haven't
NBA
benched it so
combine
hard.
is 185,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is very achievable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, that's a perfect example. Maybe I brought this up last episode. Kevin Durant, who is like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, one of the
That
best
is
around
that is
right now,
a good example.
he had zero 0 reps
Yeah.
on the NBA.
Slim Reaper.
On the is that what they call
Yeah,
it?
that is his
That's what
nickname.
If you don't know Kevin Durant, he's like 7
On
feet
the-
tall, really long arms, very thin.
on the bench press, which is not a 225 bench press. Like
Yeah.
it's a very achievable weight. Like high
Yeah.
schoolers do that, and he hit 0, but he's one of the best in the game right now.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny though is Kevin Durant is now in a commercial for I think it's like the Amazon Alexa,
And he's bench
where
pressing, but they don't show the weight. Right?
He's bench pressing in the commercial, and they have him like thinking about like he's like, what do I need when I'm going to the grocery store?
Yeah.
But
Like, come on,
yeah,
dude. We
I
know
wonder
you're
if that
giving it your
commercial is
all.
this weird subtle hit.
Yeah,
at, like,
that is pretty
he
funny.
Actually
Like,
can't, he's practicing
I can
because
do
he
this,
can't
okay?
do it.
Remember, imagine if like he directed. He's like, I want to be bench
Like,
pressing.
that's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
actually.
I need this.
Yeah,
to
they're
get
like
better.
we'll have you running some back and forths on the court, taking some shots.
Yeah.
I'm good at bench press.
But like, clearly it doesn't matter. He's
Right,
out there
yeah.
slim and reaping.
And
you know?
yeah, the classic thing with the NFL too is that there's no like you can't predict. Like there's so many rounds, there's so many like so-called steals because there's no
Right.
proven thing to predict. And
But-
like, it's the same
but
in the
it's
NBA.
so much.
but
I feel like it's like if someone can't push someone, like that's what a bench press is. You're pushing something, right?
yeah.
If they can't bench press
Right,
225, then they're going to be bad at what their job
Right,
is.
exactly.
You know?
And like this difference is like the O linemen were real bad at the all the measurable stuff, but the bench press like they're crushing.
They're
everyone.
awesome
They're
at it,
crushing.
yeah.
Like
Which is the most
this
important
guy
one,
who got 4 was a defensive back, so it's like it makes sense.
Like,
but,
I don't
but at
care.
the same time, that guy's probably running like a 4.440.
Yeah, I
so-
wouldn't care if my lineman. I'm a coach now. If my lineman had a awesome 40 time
Yeah.
and an awful bench press time, I wouldn't.
But
play him.
you do. I mean, you were telling me this earlier, but you do care about your linemen's haircuts.
Yeah,
Kind of
I
weird.
do.
Like, you really
Yeah.
care
They,
about.
they have to be lined up. I'm not going to lie. That's really good.
Yeah, you are a lineman, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like different. Important things are more like if you have a position where you have to be fast, you have to have
Right.
a good cone or a good
Yeah,
40.
yeah.
If you have a position where you
It's like
have
specific
to
to the positions.
a position where you're in the media a lot, you have to have a good haircut.
But that is
you know,
weird that
quarterback.
like didn't the Yankees for a while have like
they still you can't have facial
no
hair.
one could. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Like who cares?
Yankees are a bunch of jerks.
It's so strange.
Yeah, the Yankees suck. All right,
Imagine
moving on.
imagine if it was like you have to have this specific haircut. Like that's essentially what they're saying about the facial hair
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a bit psycho.
Anyway, moving on to the vertical jump, the last one we did. Pretty fun. We really improvised here. We had a
Yeah, this is a tough one to measure because you're seeing how the way they do it in the NFL is they have this little, like, kind of like series of little.
it looks like a
sticks.
bunch of popsicle sticks.
Yeah,
kind of,
you should look
yeah.
at a picture, but they jump and they touch in the highest
Yeah,
they can.
people have seen it. I
Yeah,
feel like
you'll
that's
probably
a-
recognize it.
Yeah, pretty standard.
But we
for
had to
the
improv.
thing. So we
And
did.
then- all right, yeah, go on.
We went up against a brick wall, measured our standing reach, and then kind of like some of the wall was like weirdly white,
It was
had, like,
it had like
chalk?
chalk on
like
it almost.
chalk residue
Yeah,
kind
where
of.
does that come from?
I have no idea.
know.
We
Is
did
that
not question it.
Is that a bit of like
It's kind of like
what do they call this stuff in
it looks like
between
an aged
bricks?
brick. Oh, cement? I don't know.
Possibly cement. Is it like leftover cement that dusted over?
I don't think
I have
so.
no
Because
I
I
have
see
no
that on
idea.
bricks all the time.
Maybe
I do see that on
maybe
bricks
someone
frequently.
graffitied the wall earlier and tried to smudge it out.
Maybe. You know what? I think
Unlikely.
it's a type of rock.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's a little limestone dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were able to use that to
Not important.
mark our fingers where we jumped and then measured from there. So it's not like super official, but you know what is at this point.
But it was pretty good, yeah.
It was good.
I mean,
Got the job done.
And okay, so the times for us was last year I got a
times.
24-inch 2-foot vertical jump. This year I got a 18-inch, which is not that great, but you know, hamstring.
But I did it
we
off of
already
one
did the hammy
leg.
talk. Chris got a 19-inch. Nice job, you beat me.
Thank you.
And Alex with a 27-inch vertical jump. Pretty good.
I got short arms.
Would you say, Alex, I know you're a gym guy. You know, you,
Sure.
you do, is that like? Do you think that comes from your you like squatting and stuff? Like,
Yeah.
do you think? Because I don't do much of that kind of workout. Like,
Definitely.
You
Like-
think that really helps you?
Yeah, I
really?
think
Like
it
that's
would.
essentially what it is. Like
Like if I wanted to improve my vertical jump, what do you think I should do?
oh, definitely squats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big
I remember like when I was playing basketball in middle school,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be like, "Oh, what should we do?" And it was like calf raises and stuff, which is like I don't want to get into like theory on calf raises.
don't
but
like
it's a
calf
big
raises?
waste of time.
Oh, wow.
But like when I got to high school, I had this class where we had to. It was called like personal fitness or something.
Mhm.
So we had to set a goal, and then we had to train towards the goal, like a
that's
fitness
cool.
goal.
Mhm.
So one of mine was like increase my vertical jump, and so all we were doing was like squats, lunges, like plyometric stuff.
Mhm.
And I think I always thought I had a good vertical jump because my arms are super long. So it's like
It doesn't matter,
It
right?
it doesn't matter at all,
Yeah.
right? So it looks like he could jump super high.
Yeah, yeah.
It's only because
You
my
got a good
arms
reach,
are
probably.
long.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Compared to
squats,
your standing reach.
plyometrics, stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah, so you're
cleans.
once again, Alex. This is probably where you are the best percentage wise. Chris, I'll get to us. Chris, you would be.
This is a great episode for my ego.
Dead last, barely. You're a half inch. I mean, maybe similar to Orlando Brown. Poor guy.
This guy's
We should have got. How hard do you think it would have been for us to get Orlando Brown over to the field to do it with
just
us?
to make fun of his scores. Probably
That'd be
pretty
so
hard.
funny.
Yeah, be like, hey, bud, we're giving you a second chance. Like put on fake mustaches, really fool him. Anyway, and then the next best was immediately 23.5 by a bunch of linemen.
Wait, what did Orlando get?
19.5.
Dang.
Yeah, so he was way below his coworkers there, his peers, and then a bunch of 24s. At this point, it gets kind of condensed. But Alex, this 27 is putting you like on the second page, believe it or not.
Hey.
So got to be at least like 35 ahead or even with. Couple quarterbacks, an edge rusher, which is insane. This was the guy that I said that I had a better 3-cone than. That's really bad. I'm not going to lie. This poor guy.
Now I'm starting to think that football players aren't even athletic.
Yeah, seriously.
Like he must have been injured or something, but like this is like ridiculous. Like to be an edge rusher.
What's
and,
an
like,
edge
college football
An edge
player,
rusher is like
an edge
on
rusher
the
is like a
outside line.
defensive end. Like
Yeah.
for me
So
to
they
have
should
a better
be. They should be
3-cone
quick.
than that. Yeah, that's really bad. And Alex has a better vertical jump than him, so that sucks. I won't call him by name because I feel kind of bad for him.
He's listening.
Orlando Bloom, that loser.
But must have been a rough combine for him.
I don't know. See, like, so does this now? It's like a conversation of what makes someone an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, these
That's
football
true.
players are athletes, but like,
I guess
if I have a better score than Orlando Brown in every single thing, which I don't, but
Except for the bench press.
let's say I did.
No, you do, except for the bench
I'm
press.
not even athletic. There's no way I'm more athletic than he is.
Well,
but maybe
Chris
I
and
am.
I were talking about this the other day about like we both like have friends. We were talking about this at the combine that we both have friends that are like weirdly like kind of like cut and like strong, but are like the worst at any kind of sport. You know,
Yeah.
You put them in like any kind of sport, and they're like insanely bad. And
Exactly.
and you could see like.
But would that be
my
the
man,
same with football?
We were talking about earlier today. Bartolo Colon, 45 years old, fat,
like 300
out of
pounds.
shape, like almost through a perfect game the other day.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, obviously he's like an anomaly for many reasons, but
Like, I would never say someone like that is athletic.
that's the thing.
but
Yeah.
he is
Yeah.
one of the best
He is a
athletes at his
athlete
position
for a living.
you know?
Yes, amazingly.
So he must be athletic then.
right.
It's like
It
the
is.
term athletic. I remember in
That's
high
true,
school having like a debate like, "Oh, running isn't a sport." So it's like, what is if that's like, is a runner athletic?
Yeah.
I guess not. But that's their sport.
Yeah, they're
Is a-
fit at least.
Is a
but-
pitcher athletic? No,
But it's
but
like,
all
yeah,
he has
like-
to be is powerful and strong.
Right.
Yeah.
That like
He
a
doesn't need to
golfer
have a good
too,
40.
right? Like,
Right,
If
a
you're a
golfer.
golfer, you know that's like a classic sport for like dads can be some of the Phil Mickelson, right?
Yeah.
He's like when he was good, he was like
Yeah.
40.
That's like pure skill.
Yeah.
Or like sumo wrestlers. That's definitely a sport, right?
And I guess-
they're insanely powerful.
Yeah.
But if you told them to like run a lap, maybe it would kill them. You know?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And it's just
I
there's
think
a
this
lot of
the
different
debate
ways
of
to
like
define
because
it.
someone the other day was like, "Oh, golf is definitely not a sport," which I guess there's an argument there. But like, what are you basing that off of?
And what is it? if
Because
it's not a
there's
sport?
it's at least skill based.
Yeah.
As same as a lot of like a quarterback has to have an insane amount of skill.
I'm gonna look it up just to
What
be
definition
that
of a
guy,
sport?
but yeah, definition of sport. An activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. So physical exertion and skill, that's kind of trying to blanket
I
everything.
feel like
there.
there's like a some sports are very like golf, very low physical exertion, very high skill.
Yeah.
Some other sports, I want to say like being a lineman, but I don't know enough.
It's all physical.
Very
just-
high physical
and
exertion,
some skill.
very low skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But-
interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. That was actually the wrong definition. This is the real one is a person who behaves in a good or specified way in response to teasing, defeat, or a similarly trying
I
situation.
hate when people are like bad sports. Actually, though,
Yeah. that's
Or, like adults.
I'm
because
really
they're so
bad.
loud.
Andrew.
I was like
Not as bad.
self-admitted.
You've gotten better, but like some people, like I feel like when you go to like a cookout or something, and there's like volleyball or like
God,
cornhole.
That's where you see
There's
the worst
certain
in some
people that are
Yeah,
like,
well, I'm not like that.
Jesus Christ, like
Yeah.
there are kids around.
That's true. Yeah, I'd just say I'm like the classic definition of a sore loser, which probably isn't good.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
you know what? This was where speaking of cornhole, this is where the conversation got started. I was watching cornhole on ESPN one day.
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
And someone was like, at work, I was talking about it. Someone's like, "Oh, come on, that is not a sport." Where's the line? I think
there is skill
cornhole is a sport
involved and the slightest amount of
if
physical
golf
exertion.
is a sport, which it is, why would cornhole not be a sport?
Yeah. Is darts a sport?
No, come on, Chris, come on.
Of course not.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, by all this.
All right. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap up this combine
I think
talk.
that
Very
what I'm
interesting
saying is,
debate.
I think there should be a cornhole combine.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy throws overhand. Like,
I'd probably
like,
do way better.
He's
Max
changing the
Max
game.
bicep curls or
Yeah.
something.
Actually, my brother and I competed in a cornhole tournament once, and like the team that was the best looked like insanely unathletic. You know, just like these like two guys,
just like
that are,
Bartolo Colon.
They
though.
both. I remember like
It
one
was
one
Bartolo
was like
Colon.
this like big like unathletic looking guy, and one was this like short unathletic looking guy, and they were both very good. They switched it like 30% of the time.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, probably more than
Bartolo
that.
Colon and Orlando Brown on the
It's
team
crazy
together.
to think like. I mean, isn't Mookie Betts like a
Yeah,
insanely good
he's
bowler?
a professional bowler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he like plays in the pro league.
Maybe Bartolo
He's like
Colon
multiple
is like
perfect
insane.
games.
Mookie Betts
that's
like might
crazy.
be the MVP right now, which
Yeah,
is
he's
pretty
great.
crazy. Anyway, all right, moving on. So the number one vertical jump for this year was close, Alex, but no cigar. You lost to a 41.5-inch vertical jump by a bunch of people, actually.
That's insane.
And once again, our dude Obi with a 44-inch, just absolutely
Jesus.
dominant.
Yeah,
like
that's
three
insane.
more
What a
inches
freak-
than the best
freak
this
athlete.
year. So
That's
very
crazy.
happy for him. Yeah,
Like they could dunk on on like a 15-foot
dude, isn't,
rim.
isn't
Yeah.
it crazy? Like this kid just went to my elementary school. Like, how wild is that? This guy has the best vertical jump.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I played football with him at recess. But anyway. All right. So let's move. Are we ready to get to ratings of the NFL Combine?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think we got everything here. I'm happy with our results, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that my hamstring was
I
not
wish I
injured,
didn't pull my hammy.
but we'll see. Anyway, once again, DM us for pictures of the hamstring. Very gruesome.
DM Andrew
though.
directly. I don't want to be
Don't-
involved in
don't
any of
DM
this.
If
Anyway,
you DM me, I'm just gonna send you a weird picture of Bartolo Colon.
you guys should look up some Bartolo Colon highlights. It'll make your day. Anyway, let's get to ratings. So, for the listeners at home, we do ratings on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. For this one, I guess pretty self-explanatory, and then obviously a yay or nay if we're going to continue the hobby. So, Chris, I'll start with you.
Sure. And we're rating us doing the combine.
I would say, not like the NFL
Yeah.
Combine as like a metric for ranking
Yeah.
players. I would say, like, did you enjoy like doing these activities to like test yourself is
Sure.
what I would say.
Yeah, I'd say to do it from the other angle, I like watching the combine on TV.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll have it on like NFL Network just for like hours. And it's usually just
Yeah.
like it's not something I'll watch intently.
It's
but I'll,
only
like,
for like a week of the year.
But
so.
it's great to have it like in the background and every
I think
now and
that's
just
true,
look up
yeah.
and be like, "Whoa, that guy's fast."
Yeah.
So that's fun. Doing it I think it was a lot of fun. I like the like measurable aspect of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can compare yourself. Like I have my numbers from last year, and
Yeah.
they're pretty similar. But it'd be interesting to be like, like if I trained and then I was able to get like a half second faster.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of goes back to us like doing track in high school. That was a lot of fun to see like times drop.
Yeah.
You could really see like your work going in. Whereas like in like basketball or something, it might be a little harder. Because it's just like
Mm-hmm.
you're playing the game. So it was fun, good time. We probably looked like maniacs. Just
we did.
three like clearly not like athletes, you know. We call ourselves athletes, but
Yeah.
I was wearing like a
Yeah, Chris, what do
like
you
a
call it?
non-athletic shirt. I think a
Henley shirt.
Henley
I'm gonna
shirt.
look that up. Is that what it's called? A
I don't
Henley
know
shirt?
that. So I probably looked like a weirdo, but
It just didn't fit, and you were wearing like sweatpants too. Like,
it was a fun time. I would do it again. So I'll give it a 7.
yeah, it is called a Henley shirt. And
Nice,
it's fun.
yeah. I'll give it a 7. Yay. If anyone ever wants to do
Look at
any
my
sort
shirt
of
a 10, yeah.
any sort of events like this again, I'm down.
Yeah.
Next time we should do
yeah.
7. Yay. Next time we should try to kick some field goals. We've done that in the past.
Oh
so it's a lot
yeah,
of fun.
yeah. No, that I do like doing that as well.
Yeah.
Chris, I forgot to mention. Did you have you also found your times from 2017? Was there
Mhm.
anything of note that you improved or disproved on? We remember that in 2017 we were not able to record together, or we were not able to be together for the combine. So apparently Chris and Alex had to go to a, correct me if I'm wrong, but incredibly rainy, muddy field.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like it wasn't raining, but it or maybe it was like drizzling, so the grass was wet.
Yeah.
And
I
we
think
did
it
it.
rained the
And
night
you guys
before.
were also able to use my cleats this time, which
Oh, yeah,
definitely
that's
helped,
true.
even though
Yeah. A lot of them like the cone drill. Last year I had 10.27.
yeah.
So
but
I crushed that.
Which
Fun.
I think I remember we ended up
Um,
doing it on like dirt,
Yeah.
but
like
it's still
that one.
not
I'm talking
perfect.
more like, I guess, 40 vertical or broad?
They were all pretty similar.
Pretty
The 40
similar.
I got 5'4", about the same.
Yeah, same.
Vertical
I found my scores
18,
too.
the same. Shuttle 5'2", more or less the same.
5 to 9.
Yeah,
5 to 9.
Podcast.
Yeah, I remember we made a joke about it.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I guess I have gotten.
I made a really good joke about it, so I banged a few pots and pans in celebration.
Alex, your 40 time was a 5.30. How close are we to greatness?
Dang, I know.
Yeah.
My 40 time last year, 5.31.
Actually?
So I beat it, yeah.
Oh, nice.
According to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll say last year was fun. Me and Alex did it with my roommate. He came out and measured like he was the timer.
Not great. He was fine. He was good.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't good, but he was fine. He was a good timer.
All right, Alex, I'll get to you for ratings here.
Right.
And feel free to chime in about your old scores.
My scores were similar. My vert, last year I got 25 inches.
Oh, so you improved
So
that.
I improved on that.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Everything else seemed pretty similar.
Yeah.
I agree with Chris. It's cool to see, like you said, I like, if you're working out or if you're training for something, it's great to see the improvements.
Mhm.
So like you said, I'm doing squats and whatnot. I got 3 more inches on my vertical jump. That means the squats I've been doing in the past year have been actually doing something. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that. It's good to see that you're not wasting
Minor
your time.
improvement, but still cool, I guess.
Not that the NFL Combine means anything for me.
Yeah.
But it kind of breaks down to this is what's happening and why you're doing something. Because
Yeah.
now you're stronger and more powerful.
Yeah.
So I like that. Do you think the NFL players ever do it again? Because they're still working out and stuff.
Maybe.
Do
That's
they
a good
point.
retest that?
Maybe
I'm sure they retest.
maybe like when they show up at
things.
training camp, like they're just like the coaches will want to make sure that they
Yeah,
don't,
like
get out of
perhaps
shape.
like once you're on a team.
Because I know in college, sports, or at least at a fairly competitive level, they do testing and retesting because of not the combine stuff, but bench press and max squat and whatnot. So I wonder if they do that for the combine.
Interesting.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun doing it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. It's just the night. The weather was nice, just relaxing,
Yep.
kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Great time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a 7. Yay.
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a lot of fun. And another thing was that perhaps because we were talking about track earlier, but track in high school was never it was fun, but it was so stressful to me because
Yeah,
I
same.
actually cared about my times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With this, our life goes on. We're not going to the NFL. We
Right.
don't really care. It'd be nice to be.
It didn't feel competitive.
It'd be
just
nice
felt
to
Yeah.
be better than
"Oh, this is
Orlando
what I
Brown.
did."
We're all happy about that, but we're not going to do anything with it.
Right.
We're not going to do anything with that skill.
Yeah.
I might DM him actually.
Yeah. Poor
You
guy.
said, "Come at me."
You should be like, dude, I'm so much better than you, and he could just send you that bench press video, and you'd be gulping.
I'm gonna test my 225 bench this week and see
You
if I can
should.
get 4
Yeah.
reps.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. I had a ton of fun just doing it with you guys. Very relaxing. I like testing myself athletically for some reason. I've just always enjoyed that, even as a little kid, like getting better, getting stronger, like you're
Yeah.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of like a cool test. I guess for you guys, I suppose I did do it this year as well, but it was severely hobbled. But doing it 2 years in a row is kind of cool because you can
Yeah.
see exactly where your times stand. I will try to do it soon, and once I'm recovered and get real times for this year, because
Yeah.
that would be kind of fun. So yeah, I'll give it. I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm gonna go 7.5. Yay,
Wow.
which I guess I'll just break the streak there. But I'd say I had more fun than I expected.
Yeah.
So
I agree with
good
that.
time. All right, cool. So that is it for ratings. We are going to get to our next section of the show, which is called What is on Your Mind? Well, it's actually called What's on Your Mind, where we talk about what is on our minds. As always, we get a listener theme song from the fans. And this week, the theme song comes from NFLD.
He's limping.
He's limping.
4.22.
No way.
So according to what we just,
4.22, and he limped. That's why he limping.
according to what
He
we
just
just
ran
timed,
into an injury.
Ah, man, I can relate to that, right? Running into an injury after running a 4.22 40-yard dash.
That is-
Happens to me.
yeah.
That just happened to me.
You
That
should-
was
That
just
was
a
you should
local
tell pe-
commentator commenting over our
You should tell people that's what happened. Not, not
Yeah.
the playing catcher.
I
yourself
actually, I limped into an injury after running a
Yeah, I mean,
4.22.
you lied about all your results from last year, so you might as well lie about your
It's not
40
too far
times
off.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well. All right, so thanks for that. Thanks for the theme song, NFLD. Let's get to what's on our minds. I started with Chris for the ratings, so I'm going to start with you, Alex. What is on your mind this week?
Okay. All right. This is something that's actually been bugging me for years,
Oh, boy.
but I don't know if it's something specific to me or if other people have it.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't enjoy talking about dreams, which I think is a common thing that no one likes that.
Yeah.
But this is about my dreams, so you guys are sorry. You're gonna have to deal with
Let's
it.
hop in.
Sometimes I'll have a dream, and it's not really necessarily a nightmare,
Like Dr. King style? Or
but sometimes it happens in nightmares and happens in good dreams. Never in daydreams, where I'll be trying to run. Actually, pretty good relating to this topic.
Yeah.
I'll be trying to run
A 40.
and like my body does not work. It's like I'm running literally in slow motion, but the whole world is in regular time. And it also happens if I'm trying to like punch something. Happens almost every single time I run in a dream. Does that happen to you guys?
No.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it's a thing that like
I do have similar dreams where, I mean, the same kind of vein where it's like I'm trying to do something and I can't do it.
yeah.
I'm sure that's some sort
I think
of like
it's the same
stress-induced
idea. It freaks me out because it's a real enough dream that like I know it happens. Like sometimes there's a dream where I'm like, oh, I'm running like this. I must be dreaming, and then I'll wake up. But other times I'm like, oh dang, my dream running is now turning into my real running because I think it's real life, and it freaks me out.
Yeah,
That's kind of weird.
I always assumed it like kind of everyone had something similar. Like what you're saying, you don't know how to do the skill. That might be like the same thing that's happening in your brain.
Yeah, I think like I have my thing like that maybe is that whenever I'm dreaming and I think of something like, oh, I really hope this doesn't happen, like it'll happen immediately.
Yeah.
You know, and like just thinking about that like makes it happen.
Like when you think about you think about nightmares, you think of like, oh, someone broke into my house and they're gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Not like, I can't really run today.
But that
Or like,
stuff,
oh, I
that
don't want
stuff
this
is
thing to
scary
happen.
because you just
It is
like
scary.
you don't.
Yeah.
Like my body doesn't
just
work
weird.
the right way. That's
Exactly.
terrifying.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
the
very
real scary stuff.
On a lighthearted note, you had a funny dream yesterday, right?
We could hear you. We could hear you talking in your sleep.
I did. Wait, what was my dream about?
You said you just got a tattoo that said.
Oh yeah, I had a dream. We were talking about tattoos at this bar that we went to, and I had a dream. I like for some reason had like when I went to bed last night, it was like the deepest sleep I've ever had.
And we didn't sleep much. We went to sleep very late last night. We had a fun night out. And
I woke up today incredibly refreshed. Like, ooh, this is great.
That's nice.
But I had a dream that like I looked in the mirror and I had a very faint tattoo on my left shoulder, like my shoulder blade, that said family. And in my dream mind, I was like first of all, no offense to anyone who has a tattoo that says family. It's great if you love your family like that much.
It's just a
that
funny
does not
tattoo.
fit my brand.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
That's so like I feel like slightly cliche. Like
Yeah.
And in my dream, I was like, oh, I accidentally gave myself the real tattoo instead of the fake one. Like there was some thing that I knew about beforehand that was like giving myself a tattoo.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that happens. To me in dreams
that was
is,
another nightmare.
It's like, do you ever have in dreams? Do you ever have like? Do you ever like weirdly know the context of something that doesn't
it's
exist?
so weird.
It's so
It's so
strange.
weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have dreams, and it's like, oh, in my dream state, I'm like, oh, I remember you from another dream. It's like, what the heck?
We should say, let's save all this dream talk for our eventual sleep
That's
episode.
actually insane.
Which I think would be great.
It's like my dream self is living its own life. Like,
'Cause I would
it's almost
actually-
like I'm living like a Fight Club-esque life where I'm living a
I would
second
say
life.
dreaming stuff was sort of a hobby of mine for a while. In college, I studied psychology, and that was sort of like my favorite class. Is like hearing about all those dreams. Like this is your subconscious.
We I guess let's just say it. We're in the works. We want to do an episode on sleeping.
Yeah.
Which is kind of boring, but
My favorite hobby.
sleeping and dreams, and we want to get into like lucid dreaming,
yeah.
trying to have some
the old
lucid dreams.
11 to 7 for me.
What
Probably.
if, you know what? What if we get that's like what in Inception's about. What if we
Yeah.
get so into lucid dreams that we don't know what's reality and what's not?
Jeez.
That's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Sometimes I'll record a podcast in my dreams.
I'm gonna
And
go out for
I
a
think
run
there's
one
a lot of
day.
info on lucid dreams, so I think we should really give
Yeah,
that
let's get
thing a
right
college
into it.
try.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I'll be able to run. Thank God.
Yeah, hopefully. All right. Actually, to be honest, I think like I don't know. I'm no expert, but I think if you do like tap into your dreams and you have control, I think you might fix that problem. To be honest.
I think you're right. I think it's like an anxiety thing.
Yeah, I think if you know what's going on, you'll be able to fix
I
it.
love the family tattoo.
that was weird.
I love that it's like faint too. Like
I was like,
okay,
oh no.
okay.
I was like such weird like shame I got from looking at it.
All right, Chris, what is on your mind?
Here's what's on my mind. Me and Alex were talking before you got here, and I just brought up a random point that I decided to save for this.
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
Do you think you'd ever buy a bidet?
A bidet?
A bidet / second question, like what is like a reasonable amount of money you think to pay for one?
I have no idea.
I know
think-
for a fact
because I feel like
will have a
bidets
bidet in my life.
bidets are kind of
I have no. I would like a bidet.
they're kind of getting in the zeitgeist. I feel
Are
like
they
you're
actually?
hearing about more and more people getting them.
Yeah.
I
I
know.
remember in French class in middle school, like everyone thought it was like the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, like they use bidets. Like,
All right,
it's
now
crazy.
there's a difference between like you're saying we were talking about earlier. We had about a 45-50 minute conversation just about different bidet types
Yeah.
earlier. You're saying you would
That's
buy
how we
like,
spent the drive up here. Just
you're
separate
saying-
cars, just on the phone talking about bidets.
See, I would not mind that.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I would do an
That's
episode
crazy.
on
There's
bidets.
probably a bidet subreddit we could look into. You're talking about like buying an
Yeah,
attachment
see,
for your
so
toilet.
so you can buy just a separate
which
unit.
honestly to me sounds disgusting, but
Yeah.
honestly it's fine.
Yeah, because I was looking on Amazon.
At
Just
one point
a
you said
little
it's
while
an
ago.
attachment for your sink, and I said, Chris, jeez Louise.
You got to just angle yourself right. It really works. No, but I mean, Amazon has like $50 bidets, like
Yeah.
that.
But you could also have a bidet,
A separate
thing for a
that
bidet,
looks kinda
which
like
to
a
me
toilet.
is like that's shameful. It's like you're
It's like,
you're
yeah.
using one toilet, and then you have to get up and smooth the bidet. I don't want to have to stand
Yeah.
up and move when when I need a bidet. If you know what I'm
That's
saying.
true.
Yeah, that's kind of weird either way.
But I think those are like
Yeah,
those are high class.
yeah. Those are a little bit. Those are pretty expensive, I would assume.
I would spend $50.
What's your conclusion, Chris?
I think
You wanna
that
get
I
it?
won't get one now because I'm like renting an apartment.
Yeah.
It looks like all the ones I've looked at, like there's some installation, like it needs to hook up to
jeez.
like this, like the pipe.
$50
the,
sounds cheap.
The plumbing systems, and yeah, there's probably nicer ones for more. So maybe when I own a house one day, if I ever do.
Bidet
That's
sounds
gonna be
like
my
something,
first thing.
Bidet sounds like something you don't want to buy the cheap version of.
That's true.
you
Yeah,
know?
it's going somewhere.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know, but I have experience using bidets, and it's great.
All right, that's enough. We gotta draw the line there.
All
I would get a bidet.
I'd recommend
for sure.
it.
All right, I think it's but we're all pro bidet here. All right, are we ready for my what's on your mind?
Yep.
Yeah, it's about
It's
all
kind of
right.
controversial, perhaps, but
Yikes.
I'm just gonna say my piece. Basically, I got into a more or less argument with my roommates the other day about giving money to homeless people. So I'll just preface it because it's kind of a sensitive subject, but personally, I do not like to give money to homeless people. It just makes me very uncomfortable, I guess I would say. And I basically say that I never give money to homeless people, and they kind of like chewed me out for it. I'm curious if that is like really bad or.
See, the thing is,
What do you guys think?
We know your roommates, but I feel like the listeners of the podcast, you bring them up every now and then. they must be like saints to them.
Yeah.
Like I remember the movie
They
pass
always,
thing.
like, yeah,
they were
they
like,
always, like,
"Oh no, we should
keep
spread
me
the wealth,
straight."
spread the
Yeah,
wealth."
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll give any spare change to homeless people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm on your side. I think. I like.
I basically like my argument, which is honestly not
Like
the
now,
best. Is that,
this is so weird. Like we're like dancing around the.
I'd say my take is like I don't think that anyone should be upset that you're not giving them money. But
I could see myself.
it'd be one thing if you were upset that they are giving money.
Well, like, I guess
am.
that did happen, which probably shouldn't have. But basically, like, I didn't get like mad, but like when we were visiting former guest of the show, Paul in Austin, like there was a guy outside a taco shop, and he was like, "Oh, I just got out of jail. Like, could you please spare me something?" And for me, immediately, that's just like, "No, Andrew, like, leave the situation. Like, no." And then my friend was like, "Yeah, sure. You know, I'll buy you a taco." And like, I
That's
don't know.
different. See, I could see someone buying food for someone.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that
'Cause you
would
know
that I thought was, like,
exactly
okay.
the food's
But
gonna
like,
be
but
in. Money
to
you don't
me,
know
I
where
was
it's
still
going.
like, this guy's lying, you know? Like in
Yeah.
my head, I can't get I
Right.
can't get off the fact of like, even if they're telling the truth, I feel like if I do this one time,
You're
you know,
getting more on my side. You got to be skeptical. We don't have to
That's
get
what I'm
into
saying,
it. It's
like-
just like the Uber driver thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I feel really bad about
I've
it
got
too, though.
no problem with anyone,
Yeah.
but I have a hard time trusting people until I know them a little
Yeah,
bit. Which
I agree.
Not that I'm assuming they're a bad person. I'm
it's
not
like-
going to assume they're a good person either. I'm going to wait till I know more.
If I was like somehow like talking with a homeless person for a bit, or like one time actually, when I was in New York, there was these guys like the Showtime guys, they're called, I think, and they like
Sure.
do like dancing tricks on the subway, and everyone there is like really jaded and didn't care, but I thought it was like really cool. I even took a video, and then I gave them money because I was like, I took a video of these
Yeah, if you're
guys. Like
taking a
I
video.
feel like they did something. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I
They're like
owe them a
performers.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Like
you
that's
know?
their job more or less. is
Right.
performance.
And the sad thing is like, it's true that a lot of people are on the street looking for money, and they'll like, I don't want to say pretend to be homeless, but they'll like put up a show that they're worse off than they are
Yeah.
just to get more
And,
money.
like, I also said,
and I'm
like-
sure a lot of people are in bad position. And it stinks.
and like I
don't
didn't.
know.
I gave like the classic argument, which once again I do feel like I'm.
Dang, this
I
is
feel
so
like kind of
problematic.
like a jerk, but I said like, oh well, like would you give money to a homeless person that was like smoking a cigarette? Because I just said like because they're probably just gonna get more cigarettes, and my friends were like, yeah, why does that matter what they do with our money? And it's like, well, I don't want to give it to them. I'm sorry. Like,
I'm with you. And
I just feel really bad. I feel really bad about it, but
I'll give
that's
money
the truth. That's how
like,
I feel.
Or I'll donate to like. I mean, I don't because I'm not a good person, but I
Yeah.
could see myself donating to like a food pantry or whatever, or like
Yeah.
a soup kitchen,
Which is
And
indirectly.
I'm
giving
sure I
them
have
money.
in the past. Now I'm like feel like I'm an awful person.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing.
But,
Like,
like,
I feel really bad
so
about
like,
it, but
like
I just feel like if I make it a point in my life to give money to homeless people, I'm gonna lose so much money. I don't know.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you give to charity and stuff like that,
Yeah.
there are places for people to go when they're in need. You can point them that way, you know.
Yeah.
So if they need something, say, "Hey, don't worry, right over here's a soup kitchen. Let me buy you a taco." Instead
Yeah,
of,
I like that.
I don't like. We should cut this out.
I knew it was like gonna be a touchy thing, but I just was curious.
And I
to
knew
read
I
this
was
with
wrong.
you. No, like I do feel like kind of wrong in this one. Like I don't want to take a firm stance like I usually do, but that's personally how I feel. I don't know, Chris. I feel like you need to.
Yeah, Chris is being
Chris is really
strategically quiet.
Yeah.
here.
No, I don't know. I
no,
think
I like this. 'Cause
I like the opinion that people can do what they want. Like I don't think I would judge anyone for doing it or
Like,
for
for
not.
not
doing
so
it.
yeah, you shouldn't feel bad either way.
I'd say like, am I giving money to like people on the street? Typically, no. I probably have at some point, but
Yeah, like everyone has.
yeah. But also I don't know. There's something about the like, oh, like can I buy you lunch instead? Like people, I feel like sometimes people will say stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. Maybe they're not hungry.
Oh god.
All right.
Or it's like maybe they need the money for, you know, like for like paying something else.
Yeah,
like
you're
I don't
right,
know.
you're
right.
It's like why does it have to be a taco?
Sure.
That's my stance on
I
most
don't
things.
know.
Why does it have to be a taco?
All right. Well, sorry about that somber end. I like the dream talk. We can get back to that.
Maybe we flip
off
them
pod.
around. I don't know how to do that.
But
It just sucks that like, listen, if I have the opportunity to dream and create this world that should be a paradise,
Yeah.
why am I giving myself nightmares? You know, that
Yeah.
like bums me out so much when I wake up from a bad
you know
dream.
what? We'll get into it in episode 103.
It's like I'm
sleeping.
sabotaging myself.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. That's enough for
Sorry,
enough for this week.
I figured I'd put some dream stuff
Yeah,
in so
yeah,
we could
and-
cut out
and,
the whole homeless part, and it'll feel seamless.
You can chop my bidet stuff. I don't care about that.
If you guys have any thoughts on any of our What's on Your Minds, or you got a What's on Your Mind of your own,
Or you want a picture of
hobby
Andrew's
suggestions, or you want a picture of my hamstring, email in ineedahobbypod@gmail.com. Chris, are you ready to hit us with the plugs?
Sure. You can email us there. You can listen. Hey, you like this episode? We got 90 something others. ineedahobbypod.com. You can find them there. We're on iTunes and now Spotify.
Spotify,
So
big
that's
deal.
great. Hey, you got
That will
premium?
always be a big deal. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep every episode. We'll pretend like it's brand new.
Sure, yeah.
It's exciting.
It's crazy that there was a point where people were recording podcasts and there wasn't even a podcast app. So they were like, hey, and now we're on the podcast app.
That's true.
Wow.
And yeah, social media, Instagram, Twitter, I Need Hobby Pod. Check us out there. Write a review. We'd love to hear what you think. I think that's it.
All right. See you next week.